Hey gang, Matt Popchock here, the voice of PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV for Penguins Cup Championship pregame Tuesday night edition as we close out championship week with Class AAA, the championship contest between this man's team, head coach Andrew Seiss and the North Allegheny Tigers taking on the Pine Richland Rams at 6:15 Eastern Daylight Time, an All-North Hills final in the PIHL's top flight this year, and then the nightcap at 8:45 thereabouts between undefeated Chartiers Valley as the Colts take on the Greensburg-Salem Golden Lions. In 1975, the very first Pennsylvania Cup was awarded to the Baldwin Highlanders. Also, North Allegheny and Pine Richland played in the Penguins Cup playoffs. Believe it or not, that was the only other time those teams have played each other in the Penguins Cup playoffs. It has been almost half a century, despite the fact that these districts are literal neighbors, but they meet here tonight with a championship on the line. Coach Seiss, these are two schools, two programs that know each other so intimately. What's it going to be like competing with a trophy on the line here this evening?
Appreciate it, Mike, and thanks for having me on. I mean, this is a great opportunity for our boys tonight. They've worked hard all season. And some of the different adversity that this team in particular has gone through all year, I mean, they deserve an opportunity tonight. And, I'm just so happy for them, and I just really hope we're able to put our best foot forward tonight.
And you've been in charge of the varsity program for a couple years now. You had big shoes to fill. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it. Mike Bagnotto, very well known in these parts, did a great job for all those years. You were one of his assistants. You worked under him. Did you learn anything from Mike in that time that you were able to kind of take with you when you took over?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Coach Bagnotto, I had him when I was a kid, just like he's had so many people in this area. And, the impact he's made on my life, on so many other kids' lives here at the school, he's a special person. And being under his belt for a little bit there, of course. And I think that was part of it, why we ultimately decided to transition over to me, where, it's still a lot of the foundation that Mike and I built together, a lot of those same pillars, but, the Andrew Seiss touch on a lot of it. And no doubt this program is where it's at because of the impact Mike Bagnotto made on that. And, I was greatly honored and humbled to be his successor on that. Absolutely.
I think what's the most impressive thing about this particular North Allegheny team, too, is, and you touched on this when you spoke to one of the local papers, I think, at the beginning of the year, overcoming all the roster turnover, graduating all that senior talent, and succeeding and winning consistently with such a young team. You specifically, I remember your quote, you called them young and hungry. I guess it's not too hard to maintain that hunger when you're playing in AAA, where literally anybody can beat anybody, and you guys had to beat great teams just to get here.
Absolutely, and that's one of our mottos. Like, the Tigers are hungry, and they'll be hungry tonight. And this year, you're absolutely right. There was a big turnover on the roster, and that happens year after year here. And what speaks to that is, I think we have some really quality coaches at all depths of our program. And they do a great job at the JV levels through our middle school program to really getting these kids into a position to succeed. And, I tell a lot of these kids when they make the varsity team here, that's the easy part of NA. Making the varsity team is the easy part. The hard work comes in at that point to make the impact that you want, to get that playing time that you want. So when you kind of have just that natural competition, it brings the best out of a lot of these kids. And it's been great to watch some of these guys, how maybe one of them started at the defense at the beginning of the year and he's moved to forward, and vice versa, and just all of them finding a way to make an impact on the game. Everyone on this team, I think the way to describe us is everyone knows their role. And that's been a great pillar for why this team's been successful, is everyone knows what they have to do to contribute to make this team be successful.
And I want to talk about a couple of those underclassmen in particular. You look at a guy like Mark Joyson, for example. I think in one of our broadcasts earlier this year, I called him like a sort of like a Troy Polamalu on skates, in that he can line up anywhere, play just about any position, and give you something from where he is. What's it been like coaching him this year?
Yeah, Mark's had a great junior year for us. He is one of those dynamite type of kids where, he could play defense, center, wing. He's a little undersized, so I think, he might get looked over in some regards with that. But his agility and the way he sees the ice, he is constantly in the right position. He's making the right plays. You'll see him on our power play, on our penalty kill. He plays top 6 for us. Just another one of those kids where he sets the tone. And when I tell you, when there's a few minutes left in the period, you'll see him blocking shots. And when you have some of your guys that are up at the top from a points perspective, when they're leading the way, blocking shots and doing some of those hard things, it really sets the tone for the rest of the team to follow suit with that.
Absolutely. And Luke Wokoskis, another one from your sophomore class. In the PIHL, just in general, this has been a really good year for freshmen and sophomores throughout the league, emerging and sort of making names for themselves. Luke ended up finishing, I think, in the top 5, top 6, thereabouts in scoring. He's had a very interesting campaign as well.
Absolutely. Luke, ultra skill, right? He can stick handle in a phone booth. He's throwing sauce. He's ripping pucks. But where he's made the biggest jump in his game this year is he's really solidified himself as a 200-foot player. In that game against Seneca, he maybe had about 6 block shots. Same thing with Mark Joyson. When it comes to winning hockey games at the end, you need your best players leading by example, and that's with hard work, and that's with playing in the defensive zone. And, as I said, I know what I'm going to get out of him on the power play. I know that he's going to produce and he's going to make an impact offensively. But where he's made that big jump this year from his freshman year to his sophomore campaign is he's playing 200 feet of hockey, and it's really great watching a kid when it really clicks for him, and it's clicking for him this year.
And you mentioned playing a 200-foot game. A prerequisite for success, presumably, against the team you're going to be playing against tonight. Again, it's another all North Hills game, a playoff game for NA. North Allegheny and Pine Richland, the opponent tonight in Penguins Cup Championship competition. What makes Pine Richland Pine Richland? What impresses you about them as you scout them?
Yeah, Pine Richland's had a good season, and each year they're up at the top of the standings. Winning AAA this year, you've alluded to it all already. Everyone was in competition with everyone, really. And, to their credit, they won some of those close games. They beat us twice this year, 5-4 in the beginning of the year, and then a 4-3 shootout victory about halfway through the season. We're a little different now from when we found them, but I know they're going to be a little different tonight. They have, in that area, they have some top-end talent. You look at the Howard kid and Campbell. You look at the back end with some of those guys. They have high-end talent. And in a game like this, one game, winner takes all, we have to work tonight. And that's our goal, is that we outwork Pine Richland tonight when everything matters.
Well, you led me perfectly into my last question before we let you go. Keys to victory. Lunch pail hockey, I guess, is going to be the name of the game?
Sure. I think a big thing's to get it off to a good start. And you saw it against Seneca Valley. That first period we played was one of our better first periods all year. I think the first period is really important in this game. I think protecting our net is very important in this game. When you're in these championship games, and we've been here before, it's been 10 straight years. NA's been a semifinal game. This is our 4th Penguin Cup appearance. There is something to say about going out and winning the game, but at the same time, it's about when you have a lot of pressure, when a lot of people are watching you, it's about making the right play and not giving them the opportunity. So I'm really going to be preaching that to our group tonight with the younger group, that enjoy the moment, and you got to make the right plays that you're used to making. And that's going to be our key to getting it done tonight.
And it's going to be a fun final to watch. NA and Pine Richland, 2 very well-peopled, well-coached, very consistent teams throughout the season. They face off in just a little bit here at the Lemieux Complex. Coach Seiss, thanks for joining me. Good luck.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. North Allegheny and Pine Richland once again, 6:15 puck drop. Jordan Yoklic, the Pine Richland head coach, going to be stepping in momentarily here. And, these programs, they have a common history. NA, back when they won their last state championship in 2013, they were coached by Jim Black, who once upon a time coached Pine Richland to their first Penguins Cup and Pennsylvania Cup championship back in 2006, a team on which my guest, Jordan Yoklic, was a player. now Pine Richland head coach. Coach, I know it's cliche to use the phrase living the dream, but I would imagine that currently you are living the dream, being able to coach at your alma mater and have them playing in a championship game as you did at the beginning of your tenure.
For sure. Yeah, no, very, very fortunate. You mentioned Jimmy Black, right? A lot of credit goes to him, giving me the opportunity, learned a lot from him. Went to Pine Richland, earning some results as a player, and then, early in my coaching career to have some success. And it's really just a testament and huge credit to the players and coaches that I've been around. Fortunate to have the opportunity this evening in another final game. It's just an absolute, pleasure and luxury to be a part of it. Just a huge credit and testament to the players.
What has impressed you the most about this particular Pine Richland team this year, in a year where seemingly in Class AAA there never is an easy game and anybody can beat anybody, and to wit, the number 1 seed was not decided until literally the very last day of the season?
Yeah, there's a lot of parity in AAA, a lot of good teams, coach well. Just connecting with Pine Richland group, it's a good core. It's a good group overall. That's a mix between seniors all the way down to your freshman group. They respect each other. They respect the game. Their fight, their character, their leadership, on the ice, away from the rink, I think speaks volumes. That's why they have the opportunity to play in a game like this. So just a special group, and again, just fortunate to have the opportunity to play tonight.
Looking at your captain, Zach Howard, he centers that great line with Cullen and Ben Bailey's, Cullen Campbell. A very consistent, successful first line for you guys all season long, really. He's a player of the month, or was in the month of October. Talk about coaching Zach this year and what he's brought to the team as a senior.
Yeah, Zach, I've had the pleasure of coaching him for a long time now. I think his leadership is really the one thing that sticks out, and just his overall work ethic as a player. Away from the rink, he's very committed. I think it resonates throughout our locker room. And, I think our team believes in what he's advising and preaching. So, whatever he's mentioning as a leader and a captain, he also leads by example. So I think that's a huge credit to Zach, and he's a huge contributor to the success we've had this year. In addition, Campbell, like you said, other captains, and then the list goes down, forwards, defense, and our goaltenders. So, yeah, but Zach, he's a critical component. He's a big-time player, and I'm excited for him to see how he plays tonight.
Yeah, when your best player can be your best player, obviously you've got a lot going for you. And another player I've kind of had my eye on throughout the season, Josh Lanyard. I was there at the St. Margaret Fall face-off. He scored the big shootout goal to win the tournament for you guys, perhaps portending that he would in the playoffs as recently as last week score a really big goal in a big spot to knock off the 2-time champs Peters Township. He's been a great player to coach for you too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah, Josh, he does everything right. He wants to get better. I think he's one guy that, he kind of goes unnoticed. I think he's a very seasoned, accomplished guy. He's always eager to get better. I think it resonates throughout our team, just the way that he works and approaches the game. We're fortunate to have him. He can play in any situation, 5-on-5, 5-on-4, power play, kill. So he's a huge component to why we've had success to earn an opportunity tonight, and another guy that I'm really eager to see, performance, understanding what he does for us and how he can apply it to tonight.
You've had some success against NA already, winning 2 very tight regular season games, one of which, the second meeting, went to a shootout, a couple of 1-goal games. What do you make of North Allegheny, and what's going to be the key to making it 3 in a row here tonight? Yeah,
North Allegheny is a great team. They work hard. They're structured, coaching, all the way to their on-ice performance. Right? It's great to have success. So you learn a lot of learn a lot of lessons when you're winning games, but on the other side of the coin, right, they got the best of us in an early St. Margaret's game. So, we've been on both sides of it for the win column as well as the losing column. So at the end of the day, you learn a lot of lessons playing this game, and it's fortunate probably for both teams, right? We're familiar with each other. Should be a great game. Again, excited for both teams, but they're a quality AAA component. I was reading somewhere, this matchup behind Richland North Allegheny hasn't occurred in a long time for the Penguins
Almost
Cup.
50 years, in fact.
Right, exactly.
If you can believe that.
So it's pretty cool to be a part of that. So again, credit to both teams just to get into this point in the year, because again, going back to the parity part of it, just AAA hockey is very competitive.
And an interesting goaltending matchup as well. You've got Brett against Andrew Long, presumably for North Allegheny. A lot of coaches out there, I'm sure, would commit actual felonies to have the goaltending depth that these two teams have. You got two pretty good netminders in there as well. And Nathan has been a capable backup for you throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, absolute huge foundation for our team, and, stacking wins that we had, Dembowski and Sudak, just great competitors. I think it's rare, that's a tough position to play, kind of at an island on times, but, they approach the game the right way. They understand their roles. They buy into winning. They buy into team. They'll do anything they can for each other as teammates, supporting each other. And then, from a, defense and forward perspective as well, it really transitions.
And before we let you go, in a nutshell, what are you going to tell the team before the game tonight?
Really just, have fun, enjoy the moment. This is why you sign up to play the game, play in the big-time games. So I think really just embrace it. It's going to be a good crowd. There's going to be a lot of support on both sides, a lot of family and friends that are supporting both teams. So just go out there, have fun, leave it all out there. Play how they know how to play, and just really just enjoy it, and do it for yourself, your team, and your family.
And like Coach Yoklic said, it has been a minute since these literal neighbors, these neighboring teams, played a high-stakes game like this one, and we look forward to seeing it. Head coach Jordan Yoklic, congratulations. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Jordan Yoklic, Pine Richland head coach, joining us on TenbandTV pregame. Well, we told you about the year 1975 and the significance of that for a couple of different reasons. Let's look now at the year 1989. When I say 1989, you're probably thinking Swifties, Taylor Swift. Well, the Greensburg-Salem Golden Lions would like to party like it's 1989, because that is the last time and the only other time they qualified for a Penguins Cup championship game. And back in 1989, it had a not-so-great outcome for the Golden Lions, who lost to the eventual state champion Plum Mustangs. Greensburg-Salem is back tonight, playing in the nightcap at 8:45 Eastern Daylight Time against the Chartiers Valley Colts, and the Colts are trying to make a little bit of history of their own. Chartiers Valley entering the playoffs with a perfect 20-0 regular season record. They defeated Moon in the quarterfinals after earning one of the two first-round byes, awarded to division champions in Class 1A. They defeated Indiana in a very tight semifinal that also sort of echoes history, because it was in 2021 the Indiana Little Indians who ran the table, went undefeated, won their first ever Penguins Cup championship against Chartiers Valley. Indiana, in fact, was the most recent team to go undefeated through an entire PIHL season before the Colts came into tonight with the spotless record. And so that's what the Colts are trying to replicate. Paul Bonetti and his team taking on the Golden Lions in the 8:45 contest tonight. And for Chartiers Valley, I think the real key is going to be the play of their freshman, Noah Callender. And I sort of hinted at this when I was talking with Coach Seiss of North Allegheny. This has been, if nothing else, a really good year in the PIHL for discovering talented underclassmen. There have been some really superlative freshmen throughout the league. this season. You look at a player like in AAA, Xavier Bias of Mount Lebanon, who played some junior hockey and had a really good varsity season. And you look at a guy like Callender in single A, who led all freshman scorers in the entire PIHL with 30 goals and 44 points during the regular season. And, you know, Paul Benetti, the Chartiers Valley head coach, would be the first to admit the Colts aren't the same team without him and without what he does. So if Greensburg-Salem can contain Callender and dare the rest of that Chartiers Valley lineup to beat them, then the Golden Lions, you got to think, have a puncher's chance here tonight. And another interesting note that you look at as you look at this Greensburg-Salem team, each of the last 4 Class 1A Penguins Cup champions has been a first-timer. Greensburg-Salem trying to fit that bill. They have never won one of these things before. Chartiers Valley won their only Penguins Cup championship and state title, for that matter, in 1986. So the Colts are trying to exercise some playoff demons of their own, and they have a chance to do it here tonight. And it's going to be a great contest. Paul Benetti, a coach who has had offers to coach other PIHL programs, but wanted to stay at Chartiers Valley to try and see it through and get that program over the hump. He's got a chance to do it here and possibly at States if the Colts win. Corey Mensch doing a great job at building the Greensburg-Salem program into a solid under-the-radar team the past couple of seasons. A lot of those guys have been playing for the Allegheny Badgers travel team together. There's a lot of team chemistry there. The Golden Lions maybe turning some heads along the way, but when you think of how long those kids have played together, not all that surprising that they've been successful as an underdog. And the Golden Lions, as far as their best player, their pick to click, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at a guy like Carter Cherok, their top first-line player, a 40-point man during the regular campaign. And Tristan Gonzalez, their goaltender, has been lights out during the playoffs. He's obviously going to need to be on his game as well. So we look forward to seeing the 8:45 contest between Chartiers Valley and Greensburg-Salem. I want to thank Brian Mitchell for coordinating our guests tonight. Andrew Seiss of North Allegheny, Jordan Yoklic of Pine Richland. Their teams will face each other in the first game tonight at 6:15. Again, stick around for the nightcap. Chartiers Valley against Greensburg-Salem at 8:45. I'm Matt Popchock, and I'm going to step aside and allow the guys from Triple Live High School Sports Network to step onto the proverbial dance floor. I'll see you for post-game, and we hope you enjoy tonight's games.